still going up there. They're the side roads now, Sonny. This is amazing. I love it. Oh, the band should get playing. Next year, next 400 person graduation. Marking should be great, actually. Marking should be great in January. All these guys leaving. Morning. That's a good picture with the red dress there, huh? A good picture with that red dress. It's all navy in the front row except the red dress. Isn't that awesome? It's right in the middle, too. We're coming back to it. I don't know. He looks good though. No.
You want to really just snap right through it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing for the playing of our national anthem and invocation. Color Guard, parade the colors. Color Guard, retire the colors.
Order, arms. Color Guard, march on, march. Cut wheel, march. Forward, march.
Chaplain Mark Girolamo, Commander, United States Navy, will now deliver the invocation.
Good morning. Let us pray. Eternal Father, you are the giver of every good gift, coming down from you, the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shifting shadow. We thank you for the privilege of celebrating the commencement of these men and women today as they graduate from the Naval Postgraduate School. Thank you for the way you have sustained them over the course of their rigorous study, the multiplicity of methods you have employed to impart knowledge, as well as the mentorship opportunities given to them through their faculty and advisors. For some, their time here at NPS has been challenging, personally and/or professionally. For others, this has been a welcome break from a demanding up-tempo. However, by your grace, they are all here ready to enjoy the fruit of their labors. So now, as they prepare to receive their rightful diplomas and take on what lies ahead in their new jobs, whether in CONUS or abroad, I ask that you would graciously bless them and keep them. As you strengthen them from the challenges here, give them confidence that you will do the same in the days ahead. For those of us who remain and carry on the work here at NPS, give us grace to follow the example that they have set by continuing to pursue excellence in every endeavor. And as we honor them and their milestone today, may you be honored and glorified for every good gift bestowed upon your children. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Please be seated. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Naval Postgraduate School's Fall Quarter Graduation. I'm Commander Paul Rasmussen, Dean of Students, Naval Postgraduate School, and I have the distinct honor of being today's MC, which I understand is potentially the largest graduation in the history of this institution. The men and women sharing the stage with President Rout and Provost Lehrman are the deans of our various schools, distinguished professors, U.S. and foreign government officials, and our local area military leadership. They have all been deeply involved in the education of today's graduates. I am now honored to introduce our President, Vice Admiral Ronald Rout, United States Navy retired.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean of Students, and welcome everyone. What a great crowd we have here today, and what a beautiful day to be celebrating like we are. To our distinguished guests, faculty, staff, family, and friends, and our soon-to-be graduates, welcome to our fall quarter and graduation ceremony. This event is a celebration of individual commitment, perseverance, and personal accomplishment. We are here today, along with family and friends, to express our great pride in our students' academic achievements. Joining me on stage today is our guest speaker, Chief Cathy Lanier, Senior Vice President of Security for the National Football League, about whom we'll hear more in a moment. In the audience today, we are honored to welcome distinguished guests, Commodore Peter Levy, Royal Australian Navy, Australia's Naval Attaché in Washington, D.C., and Dr. Ronald Smiley, National Director, Avionics, Sensors, and Electronic Warfare for Naval Air Systems Command. Also, Major General Scott Barrier, Military Deputy to the Director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and his wife, Mrs. Joanne Barrier. Their son, Lieutenant Connor Barrier, is graduating this quarter. So welcome, everyone. I would like to recognize and thank our Naval Postgraduate School Foundation for their continued support of our institution in providing us with the margin of excellence that is so important to our success and our students' experiences here. Some of the foundation members are joining us in the audience today, and we're glad you're here. Finally, thank you to Commander Rasmussen and everyone on the Dean of Students staff who worked so hard to put this graduation event together. And a special thanks to our volunteer musicians in the Del Monte Brass. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished guests, thanking our event producers and our foundation and our very own Del Monte Brass. Thank you. Today, we gratefully acknowledge the faculty and staff whose dedication to each student has made this graduation possible. You truly are a world-class, amazing team. Your passion for teaching and commitment to this institution are greatly appreciated by everyone present, especially our graduates. Please join me in recognizing our wonderful faculty. While we honor our graduates and the faculty who helped get them to where they are today, we must also recognize their families and friends. The importance of their love, support, and sacrifice cannot be overstated. Thank you for supporting your students during their tenure at NPS and for taking this time to be with us, especially those of you who have traveled some distance to be here. If I could ask the families and friends to please stand up, we'll recognize you as well. Thank you. Please stand up. Right. Thank you. I think that's the biggest standing applause I've ever received. To our graduates, words cannot express how proud we are of your success. We have immersed you in an extremely competitive academic environment that has enabled you to focus on the challenges that affect your service, our defense capabilities, and our national security. It is our commitment that your NPS education will provide you the foundation upon which the rest of your careers and lifelong learning are built. While you were here, you sharpened your spear, your intellectual spear, your ability to think critically and solve tough problems, and have increased your ability to outthink the adversary. You also helped to sharpen the spear of our navies and our DoD weapons systems and processes by the research you and our faculty have worked so hard on. NPS research continues to sharpen the spear of our military effectiveness around the world. From today forward, our nation will count on you graduates as strategic influencers, problem solvers, and leaders, wherever your careers take you. Influencers and leaders like NPS graduates Admiral Mike Mullen, Admiral Bill McRaven, Marine General Mike Hagee, former Deputy Secretary of Defense Bob Work, and Chief Cathy Lanier. Like them and thousands more of our graduates, we know that each of you can make a difference. We know you will be the future influencers and leaders at every opportunity in your wardrooms and ready rooms, in your units and staffs, and certainly in command. Everywhere you go, spread the word about NPS and your experience here. Counsel your junior officers to visit our website and talk to their detailers and monitors. Tell them to get orders here. Is that a deal? All right. On a day like today, when you reflect on your accomplishments and look ahead towards an uncertain future in a changing and sometimes violent world, we are reminded of our call to service, your call to service. It is our hope and expectation that you will leave here prepared to serve and prepared to do something great. On behalf of all of us at NPS, congratulations. And now, it is my great honor to welcome back to the Naval Postgraduate School Chief Cathy Lanier. Chief Lanier is a 2005 graduate of the NPS Center for Homeland Defense and Security's master's degree program. Her master's thesis was entitled, Preventing Terror Attacks in the Homeland, a New Mission for State and Local Police. Chief Lanier has a long and distinguished career in public safety. She has served at the highest levels of leadership in both the public and private sector. In 1990, she started her 26-year career with the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, starting there as a patrol officer. Over the next 9 years, she rose through the ranks and in 1999 became commanding officer of the department's major narcotics branch and vehicular homicide unit. She became commanding officer of the city's 4th District in 2000, and shortly after 9/11 was named commander of the Special Operations Division. In January 2007, Washington, D.C. Mayor Adrian Fenty appointed her chief of police, making her the first woman to hold a rank in the Metropolitan Police Department's history. During her nearly 10 years as police chief, she led the department through countless events in our nation's capital, including 2 presidential inaugurations. Keep in mind, many law enforcement activities in Washington require significant coordination with dozens of neighboring local, state, and federal agencies. Her direct community engagement with the citizens of D.C. gained her widespread praise during her tenure as chief, working for 3 different mayors. During that time, violent crime in the city dropped by more than 20%. In September 2016, she stepped down as police chief to become the National Football League's first female senior vice president of security, the position she continues to serve in today. Since the 9/11 attacks, NPS has served as a forum for bringing together local, state, and federal civilian and military officials and their private sector counterparts who collectively are responsible for the safety of the country and its local communities. NPS promotes interagency and intergovernmental cooperation and collaboration, relationship building, and information sharing. This is the first time that our Center for Homeland Defense and Security, I'll say CHDS, this is the first time CHDS has had 2 graduating classes at the same time. Even more noticeable, It is the first time a CHDS graduate has had the honor of being a keynote speaker. Today, participating in this ceremony, there are 58 graduates from CHDS representing the professions of emergency management, law enforcement, the fire service, the federal executive branch, and the military, along with the Department of Homeland Security and related agencies. All of you graduates today, in the military and in civilian life, have played important roles in homeland defense. Many of you have been fighting terrorism at home and overseas. Many of you have responded to humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. Some of you were in and around the Pentagon at 9/11. And in September 2013, Chief Lanier was in charge of the police response when there was a mass shooting at the Washington, D.C. Navy Yard. 12 people were killed and 3 were wounded before the shooter was killed by police. That day, the moment Chief Lanier stepped on board the Naval Yard, she was the on-scene commander for the entire operation. Today, she's here to tell us more about it. Please join me in welcoming Chief Cathy Lanier.
I know that music. That sounds familiar. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. What an honor for me to be here today and address this prestigious graduating group. Thank you, President Rout, distinguished guests, NPS, faculty, staff, all of those that I haven't seen in so many years, friends and family, and most importantly, our graduates. I promise my time will be used sparingly, as I have been told that I have to say something extremely profound and meaningful in 15 to 20 minutes that you will remember for the rest of your life. They told me that right after they asked me if I remembered what my commencement speaker talked about. Of course I did. I'm not sure I'm going to hit that mark. I'm a little bit of a non-traditional speaker, as you heard from the introduction, and a non-traditional speaker for this event, but I will do the best I can. I hope that by sharing some of my experiences, I can inspire you to make a difference. You know, given the threats that we face today, it's difficult to think of inspirational words, especially for men and women who've chosen to serve to protect their country and their communities when it just feels like the odds are against us. Not only have I spent 27 years of my life in this business, I also know a little bit about beating the odds. I had a little bit of a rough start. I was raised by a single mom. I was a little bit of a rebellious teenager. I dropped out of school in the 9th grade, ran away from home, and had my son when I was 15. I was working as a secretary and a waitress, trying to provide an education for my son. You know, a single mom with a 9th grade education doesn't get many opportunities. But in 1990, the Metropolitan Police Department gave me an opportunity. I joined MPD because I knew that if I was going to be able to take care of my family and make a difference, I had to have an education. When I started in Washington in 1990, Washington, D.C. was a very violent place. In the midst of the crack cocaine epidemic, the city of just over 600,000 had reached an annual homicide total of 500 a year. The city and the police department were in very bad shape. Our mayor had been arrested for drug use, and there was widespread corruption that had shaken the community's confidence in the police department. My mother begged me not to take that job. The crack cocaine epidemic had been wreaking havoc on the nation's capital. Night after night, I saw young men, women, and too often children murdered, gunned down in the streets like animals. Our police officers were outgunned by violent drug organizations. We were demoralized by deplorable working conditions. But the thing that was the hardest for me to believe was the apathy and the attitude by the public, the press, and even the police department, that these senseless murders were somehow acceptable. I remember people saying, "This is just the way it is." It had somehow become the new normal. It bothered me that nobody seemed to care about these homicides. Because these were drug addicts and drug dealers, somehow it just didn't matter. It bothered me that there was little or no effort to make arrest of the perpetrators, because eventually they would simply switch from suspect to victim. And it really bothered me that in the community meetings and on the evening news, I would see senior leaders from the police department explaining to the public that the police can't be on every street corner and we can't prevent homicides. I disagree. I know we can prevent homicides, and I know we can make a difference. I took every promotional exam that I was eligible for 2 reasons. One, I needed the money. 2 is it didn't take me long to figure out that each time you took a promotional exam, you had that many less idiots that you had to answer to. I'm sure everybody can appreciate that. I made sergeant in 3 years, lieutenant at 5 years, captain at 7 years, and I made my first appointed rank to run the major narcotics branch in 1998 with less than 8 years on the job. By the time I reached the rank of commander, I had a bachelor's and a master's degree from Johns Hopkins University, and I held command level positions in patrol, major narcotics branch, vehicular homicide, and the special operations division. In 2003, at the urging of my boss, then Chief Charles Ramsey, I applied for and was accepted to the Naval Postgraduate School. Probably one of the best decisions I ever made. I wasn't too sure about this place when I got accepted. You know, by the time I was at this point in my career, I had been pretty successful. I had plenty of experience. I already had an advanced degree from a prestigious university. I had a reputation for being a tireless, hands-on leader. I understood the operations of policing very well. I came here, and my first class, I produced what I thought was a brilliant 30-page paper. And I turned it into Chris Bellavita. See? So there's something wrong when everybody laughs already. I was so insulted, demoralized, when I took that paper back. As he walked around the room and was throwing our papers back on the desks, I could see they were all covered in red ink. As he passes my desk, he drops my paper on my desk. I'm not sure if he was talking to me or talking to the class in general. And he says, "So what?" Well, I took the paper back to my room that night, and I kept reading it over and over again. The only solace I had is that I did notice that everybody's paper was covered in red ink. But this is the same way I'd always done papers. I was a 4.0 student at Johns Hopkins. Something had to be wrong. This guy was a jerk. The next day I went to class, and I wanted to find out why Chris Bellavita had just dismissed my paper. It turned out there's not even a grade, didn't even give me a grade. I went to see Chris. I said, "Well, what was it about my paper that you didn't like?" Now, I heard it's gotten a lot easier for you guys than it was for us when I came through. But our first semester, we had to read 3 books. 2 of those books were the source of our first paper, the 9/11 Commission Report, which I still have, highlighted, lined, wrinkled, and Bush at War. So that was the subject that we used for our papers. So when I asked Chris what was wrong with my paper, he said, "Aren't you the police commander in the nation's capital?" And I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Did you read the books?" I said, "Yes." "Did you read my paper?" He said, "Yeah, so what?" Again, I'm thinking, boy, this guy's really a jerk. Maybe he's just one of those guys that doesn't think women belong in these jobs. I don't know what's going on. And then he looked at me and he says, "What are you going to do about it? We didn't bring you here so you could review literature. We need you to tell us what you're going to do next. Not just what you're going to do, what the police department's going to do. What are we going to do as a nation?" And then it started to dawn on me. So what? What am I going to do to make a difference? What Chris and the faculty here at the NPS do better than anybody else, is force you to create what doesn't exist. They teach you how to use collaboration and innovation to solve problems, sometimes before anybody else is even thinking about them. I remember my cohort here, and probably the second best thing about coming here, when I first arrived, they set me next to a FDNY guy who hated cops. And then on my other side was a police chief who I didn't think spoke at all. I later learned he did some work for the agency. There was a woman from the GAO who just didn't like anybody, very smart, didn't like anybody. I thought, what have I got myself into? By the time I finished my 18 months here and walked across the stage, I knew exactly what I'd gotten myself into. Less than 18 months after I graduated, I was nominated by the incoming mayor to be the chief of police. At 39 years old, with 16 years on the job, the first woman, it was a very controversial appointment. I wish they'd had media preparedness classes here. The odds were against me, but I was committed to making a difference. So what? I knew so what. I started with homicide. You know, I realized coming up through the ranks, I did like a lot of people do, is I kept this little list of things that I would change if I were king for a day. And I got that chance in 2007. The first thing that I wanted to change was the attitude by police, and particularly my police department, that the nation's capital being referred to as the murder capital of the world is not a badge of honor. We are sworn to protect the people in our city, and we can prevent homicides. And we were going to prevent homicides. I'll never forget, I made a commitment to the community that when I took over as the chief, that I would go on the scene of every single homicide. My first year, that was 181 murders. My second year, it was 187. I went on every single one. What dawned on me on my first murder scene as the chief, I was arriving on the scene, it was shortly after midnight. 18-year-old young man had been shot multiple times, was in the alley next to his home. There was an ambulance performing CPR. There was an older woman sitting on the stairs surrounded by family members. She was crying. There was crime scene tape between her and the young man laying in the alley. There was policemen all about, detectives, intelligence, homicide, uniform officers, pretty good crowd of people gathering around. I walked over to the woman sitting on the stairs. I introduced myself. I said, "Ma'am, Chief Lanier, your son's going to get the best treatment he can get. They're going to take him to Washington Hospital Center. They have the best medical care there. I'm so sorry this happened." And I put my arm around her. About 2 minutes later, she started talking to me, and she said, "You know, my son just met this girl." And she called him, and she invited him out to eat. He had just had dinner. He didn't need to go out. She was waiting for him in the alley, out back. And so as I'm listening to this woman tell me all the details of what had happened in the last few minutes before her son was shot, I'm looking up at the police officers and the detectives, and I'm wondering, is anybody writing this down? This is kind of important information. This is information that we didn't always get because people didn't really want to talk to us, because people didn't trust us, because we act like those murders didn't count. When I went up to the homicide commander and asked for a briefing on what we knew, he says to me, and we were less than 15 feet away from the family, he says to me, "Well, Chief, this is a public service murder. This guy was a bad dude. He was selling drugs and robbing people." I thought to myself, this is exactly, now this is the commander of the homicide unit. This is exactly what's wrong. This is exactly why we have the number of murders we have. So I demoted that commander and moved him out of homicide. Because if that's the attitude of the homicide commander, what detective is going to make any effort to close that case? And if that's the attitude of the commander and the detectives in the homicide unit, what community member is going to come forward and give us any information that's going to help us close that case? People didn't trust us. we were known as the city of not only the murder capital of the world, but the city of unsolved homicides for a reason. People wouldn't talk to us for a reason. My next observation was, as I went on homicide scenes, I had business cards printed out with my cell phone number on it. And people don't always want to talk to police officers on the scene when things are going on. So when I would get on the scene, I would walk around outside of the crime scene tape, and I would stop and talk to everybody who was sitting on their porch watching or standing on the streets watching. And I'd say, "Are you all right, ma'am, sir? Everybody okay?" And I would leave my business card and say, "Look, is there anything you want to pass on to the police department? Please call me." We'd get in crime briefing every morning, and I'd have homicide commander stand up and give briefings on homicides from the night before. And I remember distinctly that original homicide commander who had the really nice suits standing up in a crime briefing morning after morning originally and saying, "Well, Chief, we have nothing on this murder from last night. Stone cold, who done it?" And I'd say, "Really?" Because I got a text message last night, like 3 in the morning, and they said that the guy driving the green Oldsmobile lives around the corner, and his grandmother lives over on 4th Street. Why don't we try and check that out? And over time, it dawned on me that the reason that I was getting information texted to me, or people calling me and giving me information, because I was the only one giving out my cell phone number. I thought, wait a minute. We pay these guys pretty good, and those cell phones they're carrying, I'm paying for them. So I had business cards made up with their cell phone numbers on it. And I handed them out. You know, going about things in a non-traditional way sometimes is the way you got to do things. When you think about the threats that we face today, they're not our traditional threats. To say that the asymmetric threat is what we face today is almost an understatement. When you can't go a month without a car plowing through a crowd of people, or a person pulling out a knife and randomly stabbing people, the threat we face is unconventional, and you have to be unconventional about the way you go about doing your job. I know there's no doubt in my mind that the Naval Postgraduate School not only opened doors for me, but it also prepared me for what's on the other side. I'm sure it played a role in my selection as the police chief in 2007, and more recently as the chief security officer for the National Football League, as evidenced by the music. It was never more important to me than on September 16, 2013, when Aaron Alexis walked into the Nav C Command Building 187 at the Washington Navy Yard. Having managed 3 active shooter incidents during my tenure as the chief of police, the Washington Navy Yard was by far the most complex and certainly the most devastating. The fact that this took place inside of a military installation, the fact that it was initially believed to be a terrorist attack, the fact that it involved the response of more than 20 state, local, and federal agencies from Maryland, D.C., and Virginia would lead you to believe that this was a complicated scene that may have involved some turf battles. But I will tell you there were not. I jokingly say that there were not because the 3 initial on-scene commanders were Valerie Parlave from the FBI Washington Field Office, Teresa Chambers from the U.S. Park Police, and Cathy Lanier from the Metropolitan Police. What do we have in common? Okay. I'm just kidding. For 1 hour and 6 minutes, 117 law enforcement officers from 8 agencies pursued Aaron Alexis inside of the Washington Navy Yard, although he had killed 10 of his 12 victims in the first 6 minutes. This was the most challenging tactical environment you can imagine. The officers from those 8 different agencies formed active shooter teams with officers that they'd never met before, civilian DOD guards, and Naval Navy Yard police, and they pursued Aaron Alexis. When it was all over, there were 12 homicides, 8 separate police-involved shootings with hundreds of rounds fired, 2 of my officers, that were shot by the suspect, 2 officers that were involved in the fatal shooting of Aaron Alexis, and a crime scene that took 12 days to process. To say that the Navy Yard was one of the most complex scenes that I've ever been on is an understatement. What I was proud of at the end of the day is once the officers entered that building, and they entered the building in about 5 minutes and 40 seconds, and that's from outside the base, getting to the base and going in the building. Once they entered that building, Aaron Alexis clearly switched from hunter to hunted. The vast majority of that hour and 6 minutes he spent hiding from or engaging in battles with law enforcement and did not take any additional victims. That's our goal. Bad things are going to happen, but once we get on the scene, we can't let anything additional happen. And we were successful at the Washington Navy Yard. You know, the average tenure for a chief of police in a major city, especially my city, Washington, D.C., is 4 years. Every time there's a new mayor, there's a new police chief. We had never had a chief work for more than one mayor. I worked for 3. I would have still been there today if I didn't get that nice letter from the National Football League asking me if I wanted to work as the chief security officer. The NPS provided me with an education and the inspiration to achieve and continuously grow my network, the professionals that I can rely on and assist in solving complex issues. I cannot tell you how many NPS grads I've met in the private sector as chief security officers through Major League Sports and in the private sector. You now have the same opportunity provided to you. So what? Congratulations on your achievement today, and best of luck to you as you return back to your professions. Go out and make a difference for Chris Bellavita. Thank you.
I would now like to invite President Rout and Provost Lehrman forward for presentation of distinguished alumni and conferring of the engineer and graduate candidates.
Throughout her career, Chief Lanier has been a role model for both women and men. Her career track exemplifies the accomplishments and impact one can achieve by working through obstacles, standing firm on one's principles and beliefs, and when change is needed, challenging the status quo. Today, recognizing her many accomplishments and her leadership, we're presenting her with the NPS Distinguished Alumni Award. Provost Lehrman, would you read, please?
My honor. Presented to Chief Cathy Lanier, 15 December 2017. Holder of Master of Arts in Security Studies, Homeland Security and Defense, September 2005. This award is presented to a distinguished Naval Postgraduate School alumna who has demonstrated extraordinary leadership, achieved a distinguished career in national security, and provided valuable support of graduate education and the Naval Postgraduate School. Signed, Stephen R. Lehrman, PhD, Provost, and Ronald A. Rout, Vice Admiral, U.S. Navy, retired, President, Naval Postgraduate School.
All right.
Will the candidate for the engineer's degree please stand and proceed to the platform?
The engineer's degree is a degree that is intermediate between a master's degree and a PhD. It requires more courses than a master's degree, and the student spends more time in the thesis investigation, probing deeper into research than for a master's degree. President Rout, I present to you this candidate. After consideration of his academic accomplishments, the Academic Council will recommend him for the degree Astronautical Engineer, as specified.
Would you like to join us up here? Upon the recommendation of the Academic Council, I will, by the authority vested in me, confer upon him the degree Astronautical Engineer, as specified with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Candidate for the degree Astronautical Engineer, Lieutenant Travis Lippman, United States Navy. Lieutenant Lippman is also receiving the degree of Master of Science in Astronautical Engineering, Space Systems Engineering Award for Academic Excellence, with distinction and recognized for an outstanding thesis.
All right. Yep, you're here.
All right.
We're in for
Will the candidates for the degrees Master of Arts, Master of Science, and Masters of Business Administration please stand?
President Rout, I present to you these candidates. After consideration of their academic accomplishments, the Academic Council will recommend them for the degree Master of Arts, Master of Science, and Master of Business Administration as specified.
Upon the recommendation of the Academic Council, I will, by the authority vested in me, confer upon them the degree Master of Arts, Master of Science, and Master of Business Administration as specified, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will the first row of candidates please proceed to the platform? Remaining candidates, please be seated. Of this quarter's total 399 graduating class, 124 have also earned their Command and Staff Diploma from the Joint Professional Military Education Program sponsored by the Naval War College. Master of Science in Cyber Systems and Operations, Lieutenant Camilo Carrillo, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander James Gormley III, United States Navy. Lieutenant Carissa Hall, United States Navy. Lieutenant Kenneth Mercer, United States Navy. Master of Science in Information Technology Management, Ms. Alida Laney, Institutional Research, Reporting and Analysis, Naval Postgraduate School. Master of Science in Computer Science, Lieutenant Commander Michael Grimshaw, United States Navy. Lieutenant Andrew Malden, United States Navy. Rear Admiral Grace Murray Hopper, Computer Science Award with distinction, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Simone Mims, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. So, Keith. Lieutenant Keith William Nelson, United States Navy. Lieutenant Alexis Pepis, Hellenic Navy, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Ty Wilkinson, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. Major Hubei Buthor, Tunisian Air Force. Master of Arts, Security Studies, Middle East, South Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, Major Theo Abraham, United States Army. Lieutenant Commander Martin McDonald, Batcock, United States Navy. Captain Amanda Dietrich, United States Air Force, outstanding thesis. Major Michael Hutchins, United States Air Force. Major Brian Nana, United States Air Force. Major Brent Reese, United States Air Force. Captain Thomas Sena, United States Air Force. Major Peter Shahorn, United States Air Force. Captain Johnny Smith, United States Air Force. Captain Evan Wizerick, United States Air Force. Major Harry John Zabala, United States Air Force. Master of Arts Security Studies, Far East, Southeast Asia Pacific, Captain Christopher Bartos, United States Marine Corps, with distinction. Major Reginald Ojimur, United States Marine Corps. I'll get your name right. Lieutenant Connor Barrier, United States Navy. Lieutenant Joseph Chua, United States Navy. Lieutenant Ryan Clifford, United States Navy. Lieutenant Kendra McLean, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jimmy Suh, United States Navy. Captain Margarita Baelish, United States Air Force. Air Force Association Award for Outstanding U.S. Air Force Student. Naval Postgraduate School Superior Service Award. Captain Bill Jr. Leadership Award. Captain Aaron Ray Sipos, United States Air Force. Major Youngyu Jeong, Republic of Korea Air Force. Captain Sang Bum Nam, Republic of Korea Air Force. Master of Arts in Security Studies, Western Hemisphere, Captain Victor Ray, United States Marine Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Will the audience please rise for the next graduate who is a recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor? Major William Swenson, United States Army, recipient Congressional Medal of Honor, October 15, 2013. Please be seated. Lieutenant Mason Searcy, United States Navy. Major Paul Curtis, United States Air Force. Major Noah James Hassler, United States Air Force. Master of Arts Security Studies, Europe and Eurasia, Captain Michael Robert Christek, United States Marine Corps. Naval Intelligence Foundation's Admiral B.R. Inman Award for Outstanding Performance in Field Intelligence, Foreign Area Officer Association Award for Excellence in International Affairs. Captain Mitchell Vandercote, United States Marine Corps. Major General Staff Karina Gutenbein, Swiss Army with distinction. Major Scott Dennis Wares, United States Army. Lieutenant Michelle Crone, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jeffrey Frost, United States Navy, Liskin Award for Excellence in Regional Security Studies. Master of Arts Security Studies, Civil Military Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Chandana Priyantha Arangala, Sri Lanka Army, Outstanding Thesis. Master of Arts, Security Studies, Civil Military Relations, Major Ihor Kovalevsky, Ukrainian Army, Naval Postgraduate School, Outstanding Academic Achievement Award, International Student Award with distinction. Master of Arts, Security Studies, Strategic Studies, Captain Yangwon Cho, Republic of Korea Army. Major Sun Woo Choi, Republic of Korea Air Force. Master of Arts, Security Studies, Homeland Security and Defense, Lieutenant Brian Ballantyne, United States Navy. Lieutenant Jameel Pimpleton, United States Navy. Lieutenant Sean Villar, United States Navy. Captain Anthony Loden, United States Air Force, Outstanding United States Air Force Graduate Award with distinction. Major Eli Persons, United States Air Force, Outstanding Thesis. Master of Arts, Security Studies, Combating Terrorism, Policy and Strategy, Lieutenant Colonel Naimat Hussain Virk, Pakistan Army. Colonel Ajith Pandit Wikramasekara, Sri Lankan Army. Captain Kosala Vijay Surya, Sri Lankan Navy. Master of Arts, Security Studies, Homeland Security and Defense, Major Barry Ramey, South Carolina Army National Guard. Major Nicholas Winters, Washington Army National Guard. Commander Kevin Barklage, United States Coast Guard. Major Brian Bean, Oregon National Guard. Inspector Cindy Allen, Amtrak Police Department, Washington, D.C. Lieutenant Mike Alvarez, California Highway Patrol. Lieutenant Craig Barnett, Raleigh Police Department, North Carolina. Mr. Douglas Berglund, Washington County Sheriff's Office, Minnesota. Ms. Atithi Barth, Transportation Secretary Administration, Arlington, Virginia. Mr. Daniel Bradley, Philadelphia Office of Emergency Management. Ms. Jessica Bress, District of Columbia, Department of Behavioral Health, Outstanding Thesis. Deputy Directorate Chief Justin Bristow, U.S. Border Patrol, Washington, D.C. Battalion Chief Alan Bush, Montgomery Service Fire and Rescue Services, Maryland. Mr. Caleb Cage, Nevada Division of Emergency Management, Homeland Security. Ms. Joanna Canada Gibson, Fremont Police Department, California. Patrol Agent in Charge, Kathleen Christie, U.S. Border Patrol, Del Rio, Texas. Looking good. El Cajon. Chief Jeffrey Davis, El Cajon Police Department, California. Captain Jared Goff, Fairfax County Fire and Rescue Department, Virginia. Assistant Chief Eric Greening, Seattle Police Department, Washington. Chief Rick Griggs, Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District, California. Mr. William Hegedusik, NORAD and U.S. Northern Command, Washington, D.C. Troy Hughes, Fire Chief, Los Alamos, New Mexico. Assistant Special Agent in Charge, James Hughes, U.S. Secret Service. Fire Chief, David Hutchison, Virginia Beach Fire Department. Supervisory Special Agent Ryan Jurdy, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Washington, D.C. Lieutenant Suzanne Kimmelman, New York City Police Department. Deputy Fire Chief Nico King, Sacramento Fire Department. Mr. Reese Cuchetta, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Washington, D.C. Mr. Jason Lim, Transportation Security Administration, Arlington, Virginia. Ms. Judith Lynn, State of Arizona Department of Emergency and Military Affairs. Ms. Tara Matthews, U.S. Citizenship Immigration Services, Washington, D.C. Captain Ryan McGovern, Boston Fire Department, Massachusetts. Mr. Daniel McMasters, Federal Emergency Management Agency, Washington, D.C. Supervisory Officer Ronald Menz, U.S. Customs Border Protection, Rochester, New York. Commander John Murray, Salinas Police Department, California. Assistant Chief Scott Neal, Bullhead City Fire Department, Arizona. Captain Daniel O'Sullivan, New York City Fire Department. Captain Joseph Patterson, Amtrak Police Department, Chicago, Illinois. Lieutenant Jason Reardon, California Highway Patrol. Ms. Catherine Roberts, Federal Emergency Management Agency, Washington, D.C. Mr. Ryan Rockebrand, Federal Emergency Management Agency, Denver, Colorado. Ms. Nicole Rossich, U.S. Citizenship Immigration Services, Washington, D.C. Mr. Eric Rosner, National Protection and Programs Director at Washington, D.C. Captain Giacomo Sacca, Elizabeth Police Department, New Jersey. Supervisory Special Agent Michael Saltz, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Washington, D.C. Captain Craig Schwartz, Santa Rosa Police Department, California, Curtis H. Butch Straub Award with distinction, outstanding thesis. Fire Chief Adrian Shepard, Richmond Fire Department, California. Mr. Michael Silver, Utah National Guard. Major Michael St. Genos, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Police. Master Detective Craig Stewart, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, Indiana. Assistant Special Agent in Charge John Tanney, Jr., U.S. Secret Service, Washington, D.C. Mr. J. Teitelbaum, U.S. Digital Service, Office of Management and Budget. Captain Mark Timpf, Tucson Police Department, Arizona. Ms. Danielle Turner, Transportation Security Administration, Arlington, Virginia. Captain Jackie White, Albuquerque Fire Department, the Curtis H. Butch Straub Achievement Award with distinction. Division Chief John Whitney IV, Scottsdale Fire Department, Arizona. Ms. Diane Wilson, Transportation Security Administration, Arlington, Virginia. Master of Science, Operations Research, Lieutenant Commander John Prescott McRae, United States Navy, Monterey County Navy League Award, highest academic achievement with distinction. Master of Human Systems Integration, Ms. Evelyn Regala Axiana, Civilian Space and Naval Warfare Systems Command. Master of Science and Systems Engineering, Lieutenant Carlos Maldonado, United States Navy. Lieutenant Brandon Nichols, United States Navy. Lieutenant Timothy Uchida, United States Navy. Mrs. Tina Marie Baxter, Naval Surface Warfare Center, Panama City Division. Mr. Jason Swank Boxerman, Naval Surface Warfare Center, Panama City Division. Master of Science and Systems Engineering Analysis, Lieutenant Davis Alessandria, United States Navy. Lieutenant Eric Clow, United States Navy. Lieutenant Jeremiah Medina, United States Navy. Master of Science in Applied Mathematics, Lieutenant Commander Kevin Edward Garcia, United States Coast Guard. Master of Engineering, Electrical Engineering, Mr. Jacob Barkley, Naval Air Warfare Center, Weapons Division. Mr. Lorenzo Rodriguez, Naval Air War Center, Weapons Division. Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, Captain Ivan Chung, United States Marine Corps. Lieutenant Commander Alfredo Belalunde, Peruvian Navy. Lieutenant Commander Aaron James Bittner, United States Navy, AFCEA John McReynolds Wozencraft Electrical Computer Science Academic Award. Lieutenant Eric Sean Nebel, United States Navy. Lieutenant Calvin Scott Hargadine, United States Navy, Space and Naval Warfare Systems Command Award with distinction, outstanding thesis. Mr. Ong Cheng Hai, Singapore Defense Science and Technology Agency. Master of Science in Astronautical Engineering, Lieutenant Adam Link Atwood, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Andrew Robert Bradstreet, United States Navy, astronaut Michael J. Smith, captain, and astronaut William McCool, Astronautics Award with distinction, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Janet Leola Eddy, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Luke Charles Ozek, United States Navy. Pandya. Lieutenant Nihar Pandya, United States Navy. Lieutenant Mark Rudolph Roncaroni, United States Navy. Lieutenant Angela Marie Roush, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. How we doing? Sunday, right? Lieutenant Commander Sean Michael Sunday, United States Navy. Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Lieutenant David Buiotrego, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Andre Bird, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Ken Gordon Foose, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Commander Edward Ashley Fossen, United States Navy, Naval Sea Systems Command Award in Mechanical Engineering with distinction. Ensign Leo Marshall Jones, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Sam Christopher Murphy, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Patrick Lance Stewart, United States Navy. Lieutenant Sen Feng Yu, United States Navy, with distinction, outstanding thesis. Captain Kai Grohi, Canada, Royal Canadian Air Force, also receiving degrees Master of Science in Aerospace Engineering, Air Force Association Award for Advancement of Aerospace Studies with distinction. Lieutenant Commander Jonathan Palo, Peruvian Navy. Lieutenant Kir Riakos, Rousopoulos, Hellenic Navy. Master of Science in Systems Engineering, Major Matthew Einhorn, United States Army with distinction. Lieutenant Commander Stephen Brock, United States Navy. Lieutenant Devin Cartwright, United States Navy. Nice work. Lieutenant Justin Davis, United States Navy. Lieutenant Christopher DeVisser, United States Navy. Lieutenant Jeffrey Fostaben, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Kyle Douglas Cobold, United States Navy. Lieutenant Alexander Samaniego, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Alexander Williams, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. Mr. Miguel Angel Camacho Jr., Naval Surface Warfare Center, Panama City Division. Mr. Christopher Daniel Harrington, Naval Surface Warfare Center, Panama City Division. Ms. Lauren Christine Hawkins, Naval Surface Warfare, Panama City Division. Mr. Benjamin Ross Mitchell, Naval Surface Warfare Center, Panama City Division. Thank you. Mr. James Ellington Sovell, Naval Surface Warfare, Panama City Division. Mr. Jeffrey Dudley Wade, Marine Corps Systems Command. Mr. Peter Ryan Walker, Naval Surface Warfare Center, Panama City Division. Ms. Lisa Marie Winsett, Naval Surface Warfare Center, Panama City Division. Harrington. Mr. Daniel James Harrington, Office of the Secretary of Defense, Meyer Award for Excellence in Systems Engineering. Mr. Thomas Turee Johnson, Marine Corps Tactical System Support Activity. Master of Science in Systems Engineering Management, Lieutenant Isa Al-Jada, Kingdom of Bahrain, Royal Navy. Master of Science in Applied Physics, Lieutenant Brian David Crosby, United States Navy, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Jameson Randall Febrant, United States Navy. Lieutenant Kevin Garlington, United States Navy. Lieutenant Michael Martinez, United States Navy. Lieutenant Edward Victor Wolf, United States Navy. Major Jason Alexander DL, Canadian Army. Lieutenant J.G. Carlos Abel Romero, Peruvian Navy. Captain Drake Edward Brewster, United States Army, John Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory Award, Excellence in Applied Physics with distinction. Master of Science in Combat Systems Technology, Lieutenant Heather Patina Tilley, United States Navy. Master of Science in Meteorology and Physical Oceanography, Lieutenant Commander Christopher Daniel Ayala, United States Navy. Ayala. Lieutenant Alonzo Ingram, Jr., United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander David John Lorfeld, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Aaron Michael Marone, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Gary Vines, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Andrew Stephen West, United States Navy. Lieutenant Eric Burgess Wishney, United States Navy. Master of Science in Physical Oceanography, Lieutenant Amy Sarah Hansen, Royal Australian Navy. Master of Science in Information Strategy and Political Warfare, Major Tyler Baker. Major Noah Busby, United States Army. Major Melanie Collins, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Major Jonathan Easter, United States Army. How we doing? Major Matthew Paul Kent, United States Army. Major Yong Lee, United States Army. Sergeant First Class, love it. Sergeant First Class David Tyler Long, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Captain Christopher Mulch, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Major Patricia Olschlager, United States Army. Major Matthew Redmond, United States Army. Major Garrett Searle, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Major Nathan Steger, United States Army. Major Pete Wilcox, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Captain Dury Lee, Republic of Korea Army. Lieutenant Purnomo Rovan Astri Yoga, Indonesian Navy. Master in Science in Defense Analysis, Major Paul Michael Weber, United States Marine Corps, Pat Tillman Leadership Award. Lieutenant Colonel Mohammed Amir Ali Akbar, Indonesian Army. Colonel Hisham Amanisir, Jordanian Army. Major Jeremy Arias, United States Army. Major Matthew Bauer, United States Army, Association, United States Army, General Joseph W. Stilwell, Chapter with distinction, outstanding thesis. Major Timothy Devin Conley, United States Army. Major Brad Erickson, United States Army. Lieutenant Colonel Alan Van El Estrella, Philippine Army. Major Anthony Evans, United States Army. Fennell. Major Scott Fennell, United States Army. Major Harold Frost, United States Army. Major Anders Hamlin, United States Army, Association United States Army, General Joseph W. Stilwell Chapter Award with distinction, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Colonel Andreas Alexander Hanschua, German Army. Major Benan Vuningomama Hatangimara, Ugandan Army. Major Eric Holscher, United States Army. Major Terrence Earl Jackson, United States Army. Major Jason Jacobs, United States Army, the Pat Tillman Leadership Award. Major Jennifer Jancy, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Colonel Hanif Ullah Khan, Pakistan Army. Major Jonathan Kingsley, United States Army. Whew, having fun. Halfway. Major Chad Clay, United States Army. Major Alden Lynch, United States Army. Major Ian McGregor, United States Army, with distinction, outstanding thesis. Major Andrew Maggard, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Major William Morgan, United States Army. Major Robert Murray, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Major Douglas Odera, United States Army. Major John Warren Roby, United States Army. Major Phil Shoup, United States Army. Major Matthew Skeen, United States Army. Major Gregory Russman Spence, United States Army. Major Charles Stabb, United States Army. Major John David Staley, United States Army, with distinction. Major Eric Steffens, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Major Jared Tomberlin, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Major Christopher Valenti, United States Army. Captain Blair Vuchai, Albanian Army. Major Joshua White, United States Army. Commander Nels Blom Arlett, Danish Special Operation Forces. Lieutenant Commander Robert Hodges, Jr., United States Navy. Lieutenant Dane Holtmeyer, United States Navy. How we doing? Lieutenant Ross Huddleston, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Reed Anthony Kitchen, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Justin Lai, Republic of Singapore Navy. Lieutenant Andrew Solish, United States Navy, also receiving degree in Master of Science in Computer Science. Lieutenant Commander Timothy Teddy, United States Navy. How you doing? Chief Petty Officer. Chief Petty Officer Mark Whitmer, United States Navy. Major Bo Christian Andersen, Danish Air Force, Naval Postgraduate School Outstanding Academic Achievement Award for International Student, Monterey Kiwanis Club Outstanding International Student with distinction.
Oh, what's up?
Major Paul Andrews, Jr., United States Air Force. Major David Damron, United States Air Force Outstanding Thesis. Major Christopher Gospel, United States Air Force. Major John Lyford V, United States Air Force. Major Ryan Olish, United States Air Force. Major Nathan Paget, United States Air Force with distinction. Major Brenton Pomeroy, United States Air Force. Lieutenant Colonel Mike Rowland, United States Air Force. Marine Corps. Masters of Business Administration, Acquisitions and Contract Management. Captain Daryl Chargaloff, United States Marine Corps. How you doing? Major Joseph Common, United States Marine Corps. Darky? Captain Zachary Doherty, United States Marine Corps. Captain Andrew Heipel, United States Marine Corps. Commander Philip A. Murphy Sweet Memorial Award for Excellence in Acquisition. Major Valerie Munoz, United States Marine Corps. Captain Owen Trotman, United States Marine Corps. Captain Zachary Wilson, United States Marine Corps with distinction. Major Edgar Yu, United States Army. Lieutenant Commander Patrick Amundsen, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Carnel Arreo, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Elridge Lamont Davis, United States Navy. Lieutenant Jimmy Foster, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Christopher LaBelle, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Peter Easter Jr., United States Navy. How we doing? Lieutenant Nancy Tran, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Gilbert Uy, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jacob Whiteley, United States Navy, Naval Supply Systems Command Award, Excellence in Academic Management. Captain Corey Aruda, United States Air Force with distinction. Captain Matthew Bogan, United States Air Force. Captain Holland Cantor, United States Air Force. Captain Austin Clark, United States Air Force. Captain Tabitha Gomez, United States Air Force. Captain Thomas Kellerman, United States Air Force, Assistant Secretary of the Air Force Award for Academic Excellence. Captain Andrew McKenna, United States Air Force. Captain Sun Win, United States Air Force. Captain Anthony Percy, United States Air Force. Master Sergeant Matthew Schuyler, United States Air Force, Outstanding Thesis. Sena. Captain Alejandro Sena, United States Air Force, with distinction. Major Richard Spencer, United States Air Force. Captain Jimmy Todd, United States Air Force, Outstanding Thesis. Master of Business Administration, Systems Acquisitions Management, Major Robert Cuthbertson, United States Army. Major Seth Green, United States Army. Captain Eric Kifune, Army Acquisition Corps Award, Scholastic Achievement. Major Michael Martin, United States Army. Major Ernesto Perez, United States Army. Major. Major Mark Peterman, United States Army. Lieutenant Colonel Juan Santiago Jr., United States Army. Captain Robin Wharton, United States Army. DeVries. Lieutenant Commander Todd DeVries, United States Coast Guard, outstanding thesis. Another Coast Guard. Lieutenant Commander Jacob London, United States Coast Guard, outstanding thesis. Captain Eric Ean, United States Air Force. Good morning. Master of Science in Management, Defense Systems Analysis, Captain Jennifer Allstat, United States Marine Corps. Captain Zachary Caesar, United States Marine Corps. Major John Dove, United States Marine Corps. Major Justin Greco, United States Marine Corps. Major Joseph Larkin, United States Marine Corps. Lieutenant Herstiadi Sapto Chondro, Indonesian Navy. Lieutenant Colonel Joha Kauhanen, Finnish Air Force. Masters of Business Administration, Defense Business Management, Mr. Matthew Sharp, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the Naval Postgraduate School's Outstanding Academic Achievement Award, Department of Defense student, and with distinction. Master of Business Administration, Supply Chain Management, Lieutenant Commander Thomas House, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Kyle Johnson, United States Navy. Masters of Business Administration, Material Logistics Support Management, Captain Kendra Liu, United States Marine Corps. Major John Park, United States Marine Corps, the Rear Admiral Donald R. Eaton Logistics Award for Outstanding Achievement, Marine Corps Association Superior Service Award, and Outstanding Thesis. Captain Bo Pillow, United States Marine Corps, Outstanding Thesis. Major Mark Matthew Phelps, United States Marine Corps, with distinction, outstanding thesis. Major Daniel Witt, United States Marine Corps. Lieutenant Commander Douglas Chang, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Michael Skeeta, United States Navy Reserve. Lieutenant Gil Traynor, United States Navy. Masters of Business Administration, Financial Management, Captain Brian Adams, United States Marine Corps. Captain Cameron Hartner, United States Marine Corps. Major David Kim, United States Marine Corps. Good. Captain Timothy McPeak, United States Marine Corps. Captain Daniel Shipman, United States Marine Corps, Department of the Navy Award for Academic Excellence in Financial Management with distinction. Major Joshua Simpson, United States Marine Corps Reserves, Department of the Navy Award, Academic Excellence in Financial Management with distinction. Captain Braden Traynor, United States Marine Corps. Lieutenant Colonel Rai Altaf Hussain, Pakistan Army. Lieutenant Stephen Baker, United States Navy. Andrew. Lieutenant Andrew Bardwell, United States Navy. Lieutenant Sean Buggy, United States Navy with distinction. Lieutenant Commander Leslie Errol Cornwall, Jr., United States Navy. How you doing? Lieutenant Robert T. Council, Jr., United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jeremy Duke, United States Navy. Lieutenant Amanda Kingery, United States Navy. There he is. Lieutenant Commander Victor Lang, the Rear Admiral Thomas McClellan Award for Academic Excellence in Graduate School of Business and Public Policy. Lieutenant Commander David Lewis, United States Navy. Lieutenant Samantha Margolis, United States Navy. Lieutenant Jeffrey McCormick, United States Navy, Department of Navy Award for Academic Excellence in Financial Management. Lieutenant Joseph Minnick, United States Navy. Lieutenant J.G. Christopher Olson, United States Navy, Service Navy Award for Excellence in Surface Warfare Research. Lieutenant Commander Thomas Radich, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Dana Reeves, United States Navy. Lieutenant Merson Reyes, United States Navy. Lieutenant Rafael Vargas, United States Navy. Aaron. Lieutenant Aaron Wilson, United States Navy, Service Navy Association Award, Excellence in Surface Warfare Research. Masters of Business Administration, Financial Management, Energy, Lieutenant Jeffrey Ash, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jason Revitzer, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Remus Walls, United States Navy. Master of Science in Manpower Systems Analysis, Major Lee Kian Wee Efwin, Singapore Army. Lieutenant Samuel Crawford, Royal Australian Navy, outstanding thesis. Major Tan Z Wen, Republic of Singapore Navy, Graduate School of Business and Public Policy, Faculty Outstanding International Student Award. Masters of Business Administration, Information Systems Management, Major Francis Spurl, United States Army, outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Abdullah Al-Okail, Royal Saudi Naval Force. Lieutenant Commander David Gibson, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Joshua Longworth, United States Navy. Lieutenant Commander Carlisle Pennycook, United States Navy. Right. Mr. Tia Yonghua, Singapore Ministry of Defense, Graduate School of Business Public Policy, Faculty Outstanding International Student Award. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's graduation ceremony. On behalf of the President, Provost, and all of us at the Naval Postgraduate School, I'd like to once again thank you for being here today. We offer our sincere appreciation to the Naval Postgraduate School Color Guard and the Del Monte Brass. Please remain clear of the aisles until the platform party and faculty have departed. President Rout and Provost Lehrman cordially invite graduates, faculty, and guests to a reception in honor of the graduates in the Barbara McNitt Ballroom of Herman Hall immediately following the ceremony. Together with the President, the professors, faculty, and military leadership, I wish each of you a safe and happy holiday season. Chaplain Geromo, Commander, United States Navy, will now give the benediction.
Let us pray. Our God of grace and glory, you reward all who seek you by faith with the welcome words, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." As we endeavor to pursue excellence in all our work, grant to us perseverance in the days ahead. By the light of your Son and the life of your Spirit, bless us now with renewed confidence and peace. Work in us and through us that which is pleasing in your sight. Blessed be your name now and forever. Amen.
I missed, we need to add to the script next time before chaplain talks, please stand. It needs to be in the script. It needs to be part of it. Please rise as chaplain. Besides that, I thought it was, and the band needs to play music longer. Besides that,